In the next few examples, we're going to learn about future value. That's the principal plus interest. So future value, if you are investing money, you're investing money in savings, then it's what you would have at the end of a given time. If you are borrowing money, then it's what you will have actually paid. Here's how you get it. The formula is A equals P, which is the present value. Okay, that's what you're putting in now, or what you're getting now. And then times 1 plus the rate times the time. Now, again, the rate is done as a decimal. Time is done in years. And remember, order of operations, we do this first, rate times time, add 1, then multiply by the principal. So let's look at some. A loan of $1,060 has been made at 6.5% for 3 months. Okay, now this is going to be interesting. We haven't had one like this. Find the loan's future value. So what we're putting in now is 1,060. The rate is 6.5. When we move the decimal twice, that's 0.065. Time, now this is interesting because we normally do years. So you have to change it to months. So that would be 3 months out of 12. 1 year is 12 months. Okay, and 3 out of 12 reduces to 1/4. And then over here, they have changed that to a decimal of 0.25. 1 divided by 4 is 0.25. Okay, now let's use the formula. Principal times 1 plus the rate times time. Multiply this first, add 1, and then multiply by 1,060. Now, most of you have a calculator that does scientific order. Okay, order, I say scientific order. It's a scientific calculator that does order of operations for you, is what I meant to say. You can plug this in, and it will give you $1,077.23. Okay, so what we just found is if we get that loan, what we'll end up paying back by the end of 3 months. Let's look at a couple more. This one says, suppose you spend $4.95 each day, 5 days a week on specialty coffee. First, they want to know how much do you spend on this item. Well, first, let's do it by the week. Okay, so $4.95 times that 5 days a week. Let's see what we come up with. When we multiply that out, we end up with $24.75 per week. Okay, so now we know what we spend a week. Now they want to know per year. Okay, so we're going to take that $24.75 and we want to multiply that by 52 because there are 52 weeks in a year. And when we multiply that out, we get $1,287 a year. That's how much that coffee is costing you. Okay, so now they're going to throw a different scenario at you. They said, if you invested this amount, okay, on coffee in an account at a rate of 2%, how much would you have after 1 year? So we're looking for future value. Remember that formula is A equals, sorry, my handwriting's terrible today, what you have right now times 1 plus the rate times the time. So that's the formula we're going to fill in. So we're going to say this is what we have right now. A equals $1,287 times 1 plus, our rate is 2%, change it to a decimal, we get 0.02, like 2 cents. And they said 1 year. So we're going to multiply by 1 there, okay? And when you plug that in a calculator, you end up with $1,312.74. Okay, so that's the amount that we could have if we invested instead of buying coffee. We're going to look at one more example about future value. This one says you plan to save $3,600 for a trip to Europe in 2 years. Okay, so this is what we need. This is our A, our future value. And 2 years is our T, that's our time. You decide to purchase a certificate of deposit from your bank that pays simple interest rate, okay, so here's our R, of 2.5%. How much must you put in the CD now? So we're looking for our P. That's what we don't have, in order to have $3,600 in 2 years. So remember the formula. A equals P times 1 plus RT. Okay? We know the A. We want $3,600. okay? We don't know our present value. We don't know our P. And then we're going to have 1 plus 0.025, whoops, I didn't need to put that parenthesis there, times 2, because our time was 2 years. Okay? So when we multiply this out, get a different color here, we end up with 3,600 equals P times, when we multiply that, we get 1.05. We multiply and we add that 1. Now to get P by itself, we're going to do a little bit of algebra here, and we're going to divide by 1.05 on both sides, and that's going to give us P. So what we need to invest now, if we divide this out, is 3,428, not thousand, 0.571, and they would round, okay, to the penny. So 3,428.57. Okay, now let's talk about that rounding to the penny though, because there is kind of a catch to that. If we just do 0.57 and we leave this off, that's not going to be enough money. So they will round up. Not all textbooks show it that way, but this particular one is showing that you do need to round up, because 0.57 would not be enough. You need to round up to that 0.58 when you are investing.